Kerala's royal start to Onam. Atha Chamayam festival highlights anti-drug campaign. Onam celebrated as a harvest festival in Kerala. RBI appoints Indranil Bhattacharya as member of the Monetary Policy Committee. Bhattacharya will join the upcoming MPC meeting. MPC determines the major interest rates of Indian economy. India-China agreement on Shipkila Pass. Trade may resume. This route was closed in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. ISRO conducts first test for Gaganyaan mission. Successful integrated air drop test. All phases from release to landing were included in the parachute test. Fijian Prime Minister's visit to India. Important agreements on maritime security and cooperation. Indian Navy invited to visit Fiji. Recently, the Atha Chamayam festival was held in the Ernakulam district of Kerala, which is considered as a herald of the Onam festival. This festival is celebrated every year and serves as a major occasion to showcase Kerala's cultural heritage. The main attraction of the Atha Chamayam festival is the grand procession, which includes elephants, traditional dances, music, and people adorned in colorful attire. During this procession, Kerala's traditional art forms such as Kudiyattam, Kathakali, and Mohiniyattam are also performed. This year, a major highlight of the procession was a campaign against substance abuse. It is noteworthy that Onam is a major harvest festival of Kerala. It is celebrated in honor of the homecoming of the Asur king Mahabali, who brought peace and prosperity to Kerala. It is observed at the beginning of Chingam, the first month of the solar Malayalam calendar, Kola Varsham, which falls in August or September every year. The festival lasts for 10 days, culminating on the most important day, Thiruvonam. It is also celebrated as a festival of the rice harvest. During the festival, people wear traditional attire and prepare the Onam Sadhya. They also participate in various collective activities. These include Pukkalam, Vallamkali, Pulikali, Kaikotikali, and Kumatikali, among others. Recently, the Reserve Bank of India appointed Indranil Bhattacharya, Executive Director, as a member of the Monetary Policy Committee. Monetary policy refers to the use of monetary instruments by the central bank to control economic variables such as interest rates, money supply, and the availability of credit to achieve the ultimate goals of economic policy. In India, the responsibility of conducting monetary policy lies with the Reserve Bank of India, and this responsibility is outlined under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Under this act, the primary objective of RBI is to promote growth while maintaining economic stability. It is noteworthy that in 2016, the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 was amended to provide a legal framework for flexible inflation targeting. Following this, an arrangement was made between the government and the RBI, under which the inflation target would be determined every 5 years in consultation with the government. Along with this change, a 6-member Monetary Policy Committee was formed, which was established through a notification issued by the central government in the Official Gazette. This committee consists of 6 members: the Governor of the RBI, 1 Deputy Governor, 1 Officer of the RBI, and 3 external members appointed by the Government of India. The committee is tasked with controlling inflation in the country and determining the necessary policy interest rates. The committee meets at least 4 times a year, and decisions regarding monetary policy are made during these meetings. These decisions are binding on the RBI, meaning that the RBI must implement them. Recently, the consultancy firm EY published a report stating that India is set to emerge as the world's second largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity by 2038. The report also projected that India's economy could reach $20.7 trillion by 2030. Referring to data from the International Monetary Fund, the report highlights India's strong demographics, robust savings, and a sustainable fiscal path as key factors. India's comparative advantage lies in its young population. It is worth mentioning that purchasing power parity is a theory of international exchange which takes into account the price difference of goods and services between two countries. The size of a country's economy can be gauged based on PPP. As for EY, Ernst & Young is a leading consultancy and professional services firm. It is a global organization offering services in economics, advisory, tax, and audit. Its headquarters are located in London, England. Recently, China has expressed a theoretical agreement to resume trade through India's Shipkila Pass. This decision was made during the visit of Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi to India. Previously, trade through this route was halted in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. It is worth mentioning that the Shipkila Pass is located in the Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh. Through this pass, the Sutlej River enters India, which historically served as a major India-Tibet trade route. This pass was originally known as the Pema La or Shared Gate and was renamed Shipkila by the Indo-Tibetan Border Police after 1962. This route has been a vital trade route since the 5th century and it was closed after the 1962 Sino-India War, the post-Doklam standoff and COVID-19. Shipkila facilitated India-Tibet trade, including imports such as wool, livestock, yak products, religious items, and minerals, as well as exports like grains, spices, tobacco, wood, and metal tools. Under the 1994 India-China bilateral agreement, it was formally recognized as a border trade point. This route is not only important from an economic perspective, but also plays a crucial role in cultural exchange. Recently, ISRO successfully completed the first integrated airdrop test for the Gaganyaan mission. This test was conducted through the joint efforts of ISRO, the Air Force, DRDO, the Navy, and the Coast Guard. Additionally, ISRO is also preparing for the upcoming tests such as the second test vehicle demonstration mission and the first uncrewed Gaganyaan mission. It is worth mentioning that in the integrated airdrop test, the entire deceleration system using parachutes was demonstrated. The test covered the entire process, including all stages from release to landing. This test was conducted to validate the parachute system, which will be used to safely bring astronauts back to Earth under the Gaganyaan mission. The objective of the Gaganyaan mission is to demonstrate human spaceflight capability. Under this mission, a 3-member crew will be sent to the low Earth orbit at an altitude of 400 kilometers and they will safely be brought back to Earth. The duration of the mission will be 3 days. It will be launched using the human-rated LV-M3 launch vehicle, which was previously known as the GSLV Mk3. This is a 3-stage rocket that includes a solid stage, a liquid stage, and a cryogenic stage. It has been modified to meet the safety requirements of human missions. Recently, the Prime Minister of Fiji, Sitoveni Ligamamada Rabuka, undertook a 3-day official visit to India. This was his first visit to India as Prime Minister. During this visit, India and Fiji took several significant steps to strengthen their bilateral relations. It is worth mentioning that in areas of defense and maritime security, both countries confirmed India's support for the security of Fiji's exclusive economic zone. Additionally, a plan has been made for the arrival of an Indian Navy ship in Fiji, which will enhance maritime cooperation and interoperability. India has announced the provision of 2 maritime ambulances to Fiji's military forces and the establishment of a cybersecurity training center in Fiji. Prime Minister Rabuka appreciated India's support and described it as an important step in bilateral relations. This cooperation between India and Fiji is crucial for promoting regional peace, stability, and prosperity, especially in the context of China's growing presence in the Indo-Pacific region. During the visit, 9 agreements were announced between India and Fiji, including the establishment of a super specialty hospital in Fiji, the supply of medicines under the Jan Aushadhi scheme, and a declaration on migration and mobility. Recently, Nepal officially joined the International Big Cat Alliance. According to the latest census, the number of tigers in Nepal has reached 355, up from just 121 in 2009. The IBCA is a multinational, multi-agency alliance that includes over 90 countries and non-regional countries with an interest in the conservation of big cats. The IBCA was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2023 to mark the 50th anniversary of Project Tiger. The IBCA was established through the National Tiger Conservation Authority under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The main objective of this initiative is to conserve the 7 major species of big cats. These species include tigers, lions, leopards, snow leopards, cheetahs, jaguars, and pumas. Project Tiger, launched in 1973 in India, is a wildlife conservation initiative aimed at ensuring the survival and maintenance of tiger populations in their natural habitats by creating dedicated tiger reserves. In 1973, Project Tiger began with 9 reserves covering an area of 9,115 square kilometers. Notably, India is now home to 3/4 of the world's tigers. Recently, Kuttimathan Kani, the elder of the Kani tribe from the Agasthyamala region, passed away. He is credited with introducing the world to the medicinal herb Arogya Pacha. For this contribution, Kuttimathan Kani was honored with the Equator Prize from the United Nations Development Programme in Johannesburg. The Kani tribe primarily resides in the Agasthyamala region, straddling Kerala and Tamil Nadu, with a population of around 16,000. In the mid-1990s, with the help of the tribe, a formulation named Jeevani was developed, marketed for its fatigue-reducing, antioxidant, adaptogenic, and liver-protective properties. A royalty-based agreement was established in 1995 and the Kani Trust was created for the community's benefit. However, over time, the trust became inactive and the community did not receive the expected benefits. Arogya Pacha is a medicinal herb known for its health-boosting properties. In 1987, under the guidance of scientists from the Tropical Botanical Garden and Research Institute, Kuttimathan and his tribal partner Mallan introduced Arogya Pacha to the scientific community. The local Kani tribe used this herb as a nutritious food for its strength, health, and vitality. The tonic effect of this plant is considered similar to the famous medicinal herb ginseng. Recently, the National Highways Authority of India launched the project Aarohan to support the education of toll plaza workers' families. The objective of this initiative is to remove economic and social barriers in the field of education while providing equal access to quality education for students from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. This initiative is a positive step to promote educational inclusion in India. Under Project Aarohan, 500 students from class 11 to the final year of their undergraduate studies will be selected. These students will receive an annual scholarship of Rs 12,000. Additionally, 50 bright students pursuing postgraduate and higher studies will be awarded a scholarship of Rs 50,000. The NHAI is a statutory body under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. It is responsible for the development, maintenance and management of national highways in India. It was established under the NHAI Act of 1988. The authority is led by a chairman and includes 5 full-time and 4 part-time members appointed by the central government. Recently, fossils estimated to be 180 million years old were discovered during the excavation of a pond in Jaisalmer. These fossils are believed to belong to reptiles from the Jurassic period around 180 million years ago. The fossils measured approximately 6 to 7 feet in length, leading to the conclusion that the original creature may have been about 8 to 10 feet long. Experts believe that these remains could belong to a vertebrate species. These fossils were found in the Lathi Formation of Jaisalmer, which is renowned for its abundant fossil deposits. The Jurassic period, which lasted from approximately 201.3 million years ago to 145 million years ago, was the middle part of the Mesozoic era. The period is named after the limestone layers found in the Jura Mountains of Europe. It is divided into the early, middle, and late Jurassic, with a particularly rich fossil record. During the Jurassic period, life on land and in the oceans was vast and diverse. It included giant terrestrial creatures like sauropod dinosaurs, Allosaurus, and Stegosaurus, as well as marine animals like Plesiosaurus, Ichthyosaurus, and ammonites. At the end of the Jurassic period, the first bird, Archaeopteryx, appeared, evolved from small dinosaurs. That's all for now in this bulletin. After the news, let's take a quick look at 5 questions related to the bulletin. Question 1. Consider the following statements regarding the Monetary Policy Committee. 1. It was formed under the amendment to the RBI Act 1934 in 2016. 2. This committee has 5 members. 3. This committee controls inflation and determines the necessary policy interest rates. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None of these. Question 2. Consider the following statements regarding the Shipkila Pass. 1. This pass is located in the Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh. 2. The Satluj River enters India through this pass. 3. It was recognized as a border trade point in the 1994 India-China bilateral agreement. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None of these. Question 3. Consider the following statements regarding the International Big Cat Alliance. 1. It is a multinational, multi-agency alliance. 2. It was established by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2023 on the 25th anniversary of Project Tiger. 3. Its purpose is to promote the conservation of the 7 major big cat species. How many of the above statements are incorrect? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None of these. Question 4. Consider the following statements regarding the Project Arohan. 1. It was initiated by the National Highways Authority of India. 2. Its aim is to provide equal access to quality education for economically weaker students of toll plaza workers. 3. Under it, 500 students from class 11 to the final year of their undergraduate studies will be selected. How many of the above statements are incorrect? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None of these. Question 5. Consider the following statements regarding the Kani tribe. 1. This tribe resides in the Agasthyamala regions of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. 2. In 1995, a royalty agreement led to the creation of the Kani Trust, but it became inactive. 3. With the help of this tribe, a formulation called Jeevani was developed. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None of these. Please provide your answers in the comment section. Recently, former CRPF Director General Anish Dayal Singh has been appointed as the Deputy National Security Advisor. He has been entrusted with handling internal affairs. With this appointment, the policy of awarding honorary ranks to retired personnel of Central Armed Forces has also been implemented. While serving as the CRPF chief, Anish Dayal Singh established forward operational bases in Naxal-affected areas. It is noteworthy that as the Deputy NSA, he will assist National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in areas like cybersecurity, internal terrorism, data breaches, coordination among security agencies, and national security strategy. In recent days, Indonesia and US inaugurated the Super Garuda Shield multinational joint military exercise for 2025, which is the largest version of this series so far. For the first time, a live fire demonstration of the FIM-92 Stinger missile was conducted, which was jointly operated by the US and Indonesian armed forces. This is a multilateral annual military exercise in which the armed forces of the major Indo-Pacific countries participate. It began in 2006 as an exchange of information and training between the US and Indonesia under the name Garuda Shield. Recently, the first human case of New World screwworm parasitic infection was reported in the US. This incident has raised concerns in the medical, animal husbandry, and public health communities, as it was believed to have been eradicated in the US since the 1960s. The New World screwworm is the larva of a carnivorous parasitic fly, scientifically known as Cochleomyia humingivorax. It is primarily found in South America, Central America, and the Caribbean, but recent cases of its spread have been reported in North America. According to recent news, the world's largest saline lake, the Caspian Sea, is shrinking at a dangerous rate, creating a serious threat to trade, human activities, and marine ecosystems. In the last 5 years, its water level has dropped by 0.93 meters, 1.5 meters in the last decade, and 2.5 meters in the last 30 years. Currently, this decline is estimated at 20 to 30 centimeters annually, raising concerns about long-term ecological and economic impacts. The Caspian Sea is the world's largest inland body of water by area. Recently, the Union Home Minister and Cooperation Minister inaugurated a 2-day workshop on the Vibrant Village program organized by the Ministry of Home Affairs Border Management Division in New Delhi. This workshop is a significant step towards the overall development of India's border regions. The Vibrant Village program is a centrally sponsored scheme to be implemented from the financial year 2022-23 to 25-26. Its aim is to ensure the overall development of 2,967 villages located in 46 blocks of the 19 districts connected to the northern borders of Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, and the Union Territory of Ladakh. The program aims to motivate people in these border areas to remain in their locations and prevent migration from these villages. Recently, the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports invited nominations for the National Youth Award 2024. This award is given to youth between ages of 15 to 29 to motivate them for excellence in national development and social service. The aim of this award is to recognize the contributions of youth and encourage them towards social change and nation building. The award is usually presented during the National Youth Festival and is given in 2 categories: individual and organizational. In the individual category, youths who have made exceptional contributions to social work are included, while in the organizational category, voluntary youth organizations are honored for their work. Recently, India announced that over 700 armed forces personnel would participate in the Bright Star multinational military exercise, which will be held in Egypt from 28 August to 10 September 2025. India's participation in this exercise underscores the country's commitment to regional peace, stability, and security, while also enhancing unity, interoperability, and cooperation with allied nations. The Bright Star exercise, jointly organized by Egypt and the US since 1980, is held every 2 years. The previous exercise was conducted in 2023, with India and several nations participating with their soldiers. Recently, Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana completed 11 years. This scheme is the world's largest financial inclusion initiative, launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15 August 2014. The aim of the scheme is to provide basic banking services to every citizen of India and ensure widespread financial inclusion. This scheme has made access to financial services more inclusive. Under it, a bank account is opened for every family, which can be opened with a zero balance. Additionally, beneficiaries are provided with RuPay debit cards, financial literacy, loans, insurance, and pension services. That's all for now in this bulletin. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Drishti IAS English and Hindi YouTube channels.
For more informative content, like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.